share some comments.
Hello, guys from IFS. How you doing? Good, good, good. I'm so happy to have you all with us doing this interview leading up into the fights on the 20th of August in Centurion. As you know, EFL05 is coming. It's one of our biggest events to date. We're doing the championship belt for the Pro-Am, as well as the amateur female title is up for grabs. So it's going to be a fantastic evening of some really great entertainment, some great fights. And we're very excited to have you on the card. So, starting off, as you know, we're starting off with some of the lighter guys going into the heavier, then going into the main card. Kemo, my friend, the man, coming to join EFL for the very first time. Tell us, how does it feel to be part of EFL and to be doing the fight with us for the first time?
It feels good. I'm excited about the fight. I've had the pleasure of attending the last 2 EFLs, and it's amazing. It's such a spectacle, such a good show put on, such good fighting performances. So hopefully I can contribute to one of those.
Well, we are very excited to see what you've got. We know your crew Simon, he speaks highly of you. So we are very keen to see what you're coming with. You are fighting David Tibby, also known as Simba. He's had 1 fight before. He's coming in to do his 2nd fight. Does that worry you that he's got 1 more fight up on you?
I don't really concern myself with my opponent. I like to think of it as I am fighting myself. So as long as I focus on my training, my camp, and then when in the ring, focus more on process rather than result, it doesn't really matter who's in front of me.
So you're talking about training in your camp. We know you come from a nice, strong Muay Thai gym. And tell me, what have you been doing in your camp to prepare for this fight?
What's been nice about this camp is that it's been really long. So it's been a really nice process of getting to the right weight, working on conditioning, working on a lot of strength exercises, explosive exercises, and really being able to hone in on technique. Because we've had such a long time to spend in camp, I think we've really been able to get down to the details. So hopefully we can put on a good show come 20th August.
So picking up on what you've said, your technique, is there any techniques or style that is your style or that you're good at? You love your elbows, you like clinching. Obviously, we don't want to let your opponent know what you're bringing to the fight. But what can we expect from you? We've never seen you in the ring before. What can we expect?
I don't think of myself as having a particular style. I think of myself as quite adaptable. Depending on what the situation calls for, I feel like I can adjust accordingly. So if my opponent wants to scrap, we can scrap. If he turns it into a technical fight, I feel like I can match it when it comes to technique. And I trust my gas tank, so I'm good to go.
So when you say gas tank, for a lot of the people outside of the fighting game that might not know what we're talking about endurance. So we can expect from you the endurance level to, if you wanted to start at 100% and carry through all 3 rounds at that pace. Okay, so what can we look forward to in regards to coming out? Are you a coming out strong guy? Do you like to wait? Where do you think you are in the fight? I'm trying to suss out what could be coming.
Well, look, I'm no spring chicken, I'm 34. So I like to lean on my wisdom and read the situation. I don't like to get ahead of myself. So I think it's important to take at least 10 seconds, 20 seconds, read your opponent, see what he's bringing to the fight, and then adapt accordingly.
Well, I'm liking what you are saying. You already sound like a seasoned fighter to say that I'm there to see what's happening in the first round, feel out the fight. Us traditional Muay Thai fighters normally start very slow the first round. We build up and we normally finish very strong in the end round. So we are just happy to have you part of EFL. We're super excited to see you coming on the night. Bring the action, bring the fire, and maybe take the win home.
Thank you, crew. I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Great stuff. So going from Kemo, the little man of the camp with the big hearts and the endurance to last, to the biggest man in camp, Mr. Jacques, the giant that took up the whole ring at last EFL4. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks for you.
I'm good. I'm super excited. As you know, 20th August, big bang again. We're doing the big fights, EFL05. You fought in the last EFL against Jacques. It was a close fight. You won on points at the last thing, judge's decision. It wasn't as high action as we used to from Jacques or from yourself. Could you attribute that to your first time in the ring under the big lights? Were you a little bit nervous, a little bit stiff?
I can definitely say nerves had a big factor in it. It was my first proper serious fight. I can say even before I went onto the ring, I was a bit going to nerves there. But and then when I was in the ring, my main focus was just to keep myself from getting too severely injured. So I can definitely say it influenced the way I fought. But I feel more confident now, I feel more comfortable, and at camp we worked on everything, all my shortcomings during the fight. So definitely coming in with a whole new game plan and planning to do a far more impressive job about it.
Well, we are very happy to hear that. Us old fighters, being like myself, we know that the first time in the ring is a very nervous experience. The lights are on, the crowd is there. It's only you, mano a mano. There's no team behind you. So once you're through those ropes, you're actually on your own going into a war. So we are expecting a more looser, Jacques, using more of your reach because you have very nice long arms, very nice reach. And do you think your reach is something that is going to separate you in this fight?
I definitely believe my reach is a very natural advantage I have over most fighters. It's I'm lucky enough to be 6'5", which is very much an advantage. But I don't want to over rely only on that. So I've been working during camp, been working on getting into my close range, allowing my kicks to fly more, and to be ready for the clinch.
And then, have you been doing anything about body conditioning? I know you said you in your first fight, you were worried about injury to your body. Did you maybe pick up on body conditioning in camp just to give you that mental edge on being hard as iron, as they say?
I've definitely altered some of my training. Last time I was focused on getting as close to my frame as possible, but after the fight and seeing that fighting heavier people, you do need a bit more of a numbers game behind you when it comes to weight. So I've been focusing on getting a bit bigger, having a bit more power as well.
Okay, well, great. We know you're coming in for your second fight. You are going to be fighting a newcomer to EFL, debuting with EFL05, Josiah Obashi. Very nice guy, very strong guy, lots of muscles. Does muscles intimidate you at all, or do you just sit back and say, I'll fight anything that comes down the road?
I've seen a lot of people who have a lot of muscle to show off, but that does not necessarily mean practical strength. So if he's able to bring practical strength to the ring, then I'll be happy to take him on. But I don't let muscles intimidate me.
Well, that's fantastic. You know, I mean, that's what a fighter says. At the end of the day, you can have a big book pence and you can be skinny like me and still be good in the ring or whatever it is. So a fight is a fight. As you know, you keep your hands up, you look for the shot, you do what you need to do. So we are very happy to have you with us again for EFL5, coming in, being our open division weights, showing what you've got, showing a more looser, relaxer Jacques. And I'm excited to see you in the ring again. I think you're a great fighter and you've got great potential. So looking forward to it, Jacques.
Thank you very much, Drew.
So going from the big man into our main card, Giulia, as they would say. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thanks. So your last fight, very close. You were fighting for the position for the title, and you lost on I think it was a 1 point or 2 point deficit. It was super close, super close. We had audience calling it one way, audience calling it the other way, but what a close fight. Now you're stepping up against Madeline. She's going to be your opponent, a bit taller than you, a little bit more reach. But how are you feeling? How's your mindset coming into this fight? Did the last one affect you, or did you just shrug it off? How are you doing?
No, I mean, the last one was actually, it was one of my best fights. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, you know, just preparing for this one, I'm ready to go. I'm very excited to get back in the ring and try again. Yeah, my mindset's been good, training hard. Like Kemo mentioned, we've had a nice long camp. So I'm feeling ready. I can fight tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, all the fighters that come from your gym have that attitude, and that comes from the discipline that your crew puts in you, crew Simon. And it's that nice old school fighter mentality that I really appreciate, and I'm sure all our fans appreciate as well. Tell me, with Madeline being tall and lanky, she does have long reach. What are you doing in camp to combat that without giving away your strategy? What's your thoughts about the reach? Is it concerning?
I'm not concerned at all, crew. I've been sparring Jacques a lot because he's long as well. He's got long limbs, so just working on the defense of being on the long game and getting into the pockets. And yeah, I'm really not concerned at all. I'm very excited to fight her actually. I'm not concerned about her being tall at all. I've got some strategies up my sleeve, to work with it. It's not an issue for me at all.
Well, that's great to hear. I know from your last fight and seeing you before fighting, you are quite a little beast in the clinch. You throw a lot of knees that come flying from all angles, which is actually quite reassuring to somebody that might not know the fight game, is that within Muay Thai, if you have a taller opponent, you can always go in and clinch them, and then that reach is null and void. So you could technically just beat her with the elbows and the knees and take away the whole fight from her. So we are expecting the Giulia we know, the heart of a lion, the sportsmanship of a true athlete. And we are super excited to have you open up the main card for the night. And we look forward to a fantastic fight from you.
Me too. Thank you, crew. Looking forward to this.
So as a wrap up of the interview, camp's going well, nice long camp, all happy, all energetic. 20th of August, we're all strong. What can you guys say to the fans or watching you? What do you have to say to everybody? Anyone?
I'm not sure if I have any fans yet, but hopefully by the end of the evening, I would have gathered some.
Well, maybe after this interview, you'll have a few shouting for you there at the fights.
Hopefully.
Well, fantastic, guys. I wish you all the best for EFL5. I'll be shouting from the side for you guys. Have a great evening and good luck with camp, and we'll see you on the 20th of August.
Thank you.
Thanks, crew.
Thanks, guys. You have yourself a great evening.
You too.
Ciao.
Cheers.